What's up, guys? It's that time of the month. We're going to talk all about Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a subscription platform that is available online. They are absolutely phenomenal. I wish I was sponsored by them, but I am not, and yet I'm still here every single month talking to you guys about Book of the Month because it is that amazing. It's basically a website where they have a curated collection of books that they are showcasing every month. They're usually new authors or authors that are very popular, and all the books from various different categories and genres that are being released that month. So these are up-to-date books that are being released with the current market of whatever books are coming out for the month. That being said, they have all different types of categories. They have historical fiction, thrillers, they have romance, they have memoirs, they have everything you can possibly think of. And there's usually 6 books that are nominated and selected as the choices for the month. The other nice thing about Book of the Month is they also do spotlight titles, where basically any books that may have been written by authors previously that are associated with books that are being released, or in honor of authors that have previously released books, they will post, which is absolutely wonderful in my humble opinion. And the other nice thing about Book of the Month that I think is really cool is they've now added an audiobook component as well. So you can choose to either get a physical copy of a book or an audiobook. Whichever you prefer, it is available to you. The audiobooks can be downloaded through their app and listened to that way. And in terms of the Book of the Month book, you usually have 1 credit to pick 1 book per month. And then should you choose to do so, you can add on books from there. A typical book costs about $15.99 to add on. There's always promotions out there if you are interested in getting your first book, and most of them will start you off at $5.99 for your first book. Now keep in mind, guys, these are brand new releases, spanking brand new releases right off the printer press, and you are getting these books at $15.99 per month. Again, $15.99 per month for a beautiful hardback book. And not only any hardback book, but a brand spanking new hardback book. So if that doesn't sell you on it, let's actually run through the website. I haven't done this yet on this channel, so I just kind of wanted to showcase what you physically see when you get into the website. So here we go. So here's kind of what you're seeing when you get onto the website. You're going to go into the Book of the Month website and log onto your account. Once you have logged onto your account, you get to make a selection for the Book of the Month of your choice, which will be added on immediately for the credit that you have paid for. Outside of that, you can also choose to add add-ons. Now, as you can see here, you can get up to 4 add-ons at $10.99 each, guys. $10.99 each. Can you imagine getting a brand spanking new hard copy book for $10.99 each? Like, come on, that's pretty freaking amazing. Outside of that, every month you can see up here, they have the hardcovers and the audiobooks. So for July, for example, they had some of the audiobooks from the previous month. For example, Honey was actually one of the books that was listed for the contemporary fiction category for the month of June. Under Your Spell also sounds like a really cute romance about siblings and accidentally casting a spell that turned your life upside down. So that one sounds super cute. A Talent for Murder was also a book that was released for the month of June, and I did showcase it in one of my other videos from last month. The Lion Women of Tehran was also a book that was recently published for Book of the Month, as well as one of their selections, I think either last month or the month before. And then Bad Tourist. This book was definitely on there by Maggie Thorpe, Margot's Got Money Troubles, last month. So you can see you have this Audible category that you can choose from. Sorry, not Audible, but audiobooks. If you go into the hardcover section here, you can see July's books selection. So you had House of Glass for the early release / repeat author thriller. Who Killed the Nanny? That question lies at the heart of the story of a family coming undone in a creepy DC mansion. You have historical fiction here. Beatrice Williams is a very well celebrated author. She has also been published on their website before. I have actually read a book by her before, which I can't recall off the top of my head, but I do remember it being quite excellent. This one is called Husband and Lovers. It's about post-war Cairo to modern day New York, and it kind of follows the tale, traces of stories intertwined with love and sacrifices. I'm obviously just reading this for you guys, basically. Haven't read this book myself, but I have heard wonderful things about this book from those who have read it. Then you have The God of the Woods, which is, again, literary fiction propelled by a mysterious disappearance. This epic saga explores the cracks and divisions of summer camp community. Then we have The Lost Story, which is a fantasy, another historical fiction. So as you can see, multiple different authors from multiple different backgrounds with multiple different genres right here for you to select from. And they do this for you every month. Now, if you go up to the top here, you can also go to all books. Now, when you click on the all books, it has all the books in one spot. So the spotlight titles are basically books that have been released recently or have been selected to be re-showcased on the website. You can see here that it has Hello Girls, for example, which is a book that was written by Emily Henry and Bethany, I want to say Cavallaro, sorry, which I thought was super cool because it's one of the early novels by Emily Henry, and I feel like a lot of people haven't heard of this. As you guys may have guessed, Riley Sager is a very celebrated author on this website. I feel like almost every single one of his books is actually on this website, and he is obviously a master of thrillers. You have Demon of Unrest. That book is historical fiction. The reappearance of Rachel Price, which happens to be young adult, but again, just titles that have recently been released that are now being showcased again by the website in case you had missed it previously. Then you also have new and recent add-ons. Now, these books are books that have also been released. They aren't quite tested to be the best for the monthly selection. However, they are considered cool enough where they should be showcased either because it's a repeat author or books that people may have been waiting to show up. So you can see here, they have some of the classic authors that you would expect to see. You have your Allie Hazelwood with Not in Love. You have Ruth Ware, Riley Sager, Chris Whitaker, all of these people in terms of your thrillers. You have some fantasy that's going on over here. You have dark romance with The Leather and Lark. You have Happy Sunshine with The Love of My Life and the rom-commers and things like that. So you can see it's a very, very large plethora of collection of books. They're all like the latest and the greatest of the novels. And the best part about this is that you can literally subscribe for your first book at $5.99. Now, I don't have any codes for you guys because I am not sponsored, but if you guys are following any other booktuber out there, most of them have had partnerships with Book of the Month, which is absolutely great. So if you go onto the websites of, for example, Haley Pham, if you go on for Sarah, Jack Edwards, all of these people, they have partnerships with Book of the Month or sponsorships by Book of the Month where they do actually have codes that you guys can use to get your first book for $5.99. Now, outside of that, the other brilliant thing about Book of the Month is you don't have to only get one book. You can get as many books as you want, like we talked about with that $10.99 add-on, so you can actually mix and match too. Like no one says you have to only get the July selection or the August selection or whatever. You can get books from this new and recent add-ons that are noteworthy, the spotlight titles, the July section, and then even trace it back to previous months. So let's say there's a new book in a series that comes out and you want to see if Book of the Month has had the book in the past. You can totally look it up in the search bar up here. And if it does show up, you can also add it to your cart for $10.99. And again, all of these copies are hard copies, which is great. And then you also have debut authors that they like to showcase. Outside of that, you have Members Most Loved. And the other fun thing about Book of the Month is every year there is a voting that occurs for the Book of the Year. And there are books that are nominated for this category and then they are voted upon. And if you become a member of Book of the Month and you become one of the Book of the Month best friends, you actually get a book for free for your birthday. And you also happen to get one of those voting category books for free as well. So any of the books that are in the top selection categories for the Book of the Year, you actually get a free copy of one of those books as well. Like, I mean, how amazing is that? So I just think Book of the Month is a wonderful resource for anyone who's interested in trying to see the latest and greatest that's out there, getting a feel for what books are available to us. I think personally the best part of Book of the Month for me is the fact that someone else is doing the work of curating these titles. They are looking through hundreds and thousands of books to select the ones that they feel are best for the upcoming month and what should be read by everyone. And I think that is really, really difficult work. And the fact that they have such a fabulous team of members on the Book of the Month staff to be able to go through these hundreds of thousands of books that are being released all the time to pick the best ones and curating a collection from all these different genres is just stunning. I absolutely adore Book of the Month, which then brings me to the part of the video that I think is the most fun, and that is the Book of the Month haul. Now, here is July's Book of the Month collection. I went a little crazy. To be fair though, I was able to use a free credit this month for my birthday because it was last month, as you guys may know if you have been with the channel since the beginning, or if you are interested in seeing what I got for my birthday or what I did for my birthday, if those types of videos excite you, I did actually post a video about that as well, so you can definitely go back and look at that. But Book of the Month only gave me my credit after I had placed my June order. So because of that reason, I did have to cash it in for July, which is part of the reason why I got my free book this month. But without further ado, let's pop into the book. So this first book is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Now this book is a fiction that is fantasy, and this was actually not one of the July book selections. This was in the Spotlight titles and the up and new coming selections of books that had shown up on the website. And I saw the cover and I just thought, oh my God, that looks like Fox the Phoenix. I have to see what this book is about. So then I actually went onto the website, clicked on the book that I wanted to look at, which was this one, and had a chance to read a description, get a vibe, and then also get an excerpt from the first chapter. And I was like, you know what, I can get behind this. So let me read you the inside so you guys know what this book is about as well. So, rival ornithologists hunt through England for a rare magical bird in this historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but with manners, tea, and helicopter parasols. I mean, how does that not already strike your fancy? Beth Pickering is on the verge of finally capturing the rare death whistler bird when Professor Devon Lockley swoops in, stealing both her bird and her imagination like a villain, albeit a handsome and charming villain, but that's beside the point. As someone highly educated in the ruthless discipline of ornithology, Beth knows trouble when she sees it, and she is determined to keep her distance from Devon. For his part, Devon has never been more smitten than when he first sets eyes on Professor Beth Pickering. She's so pretty, so polite, so capable of bringing down a fiery, deadly bird using only her wits. In other words, an angel. Devon understands he must not get close to her, however, since they're professional rivals. When a competition to become Birder of the Year by capturing an endangered Caladrius bird is announced, Beth and Devon are forced to team up to have a chance of winning. Now keeping their distance becomes a question of one bed or two, but they must take the risk because foul play is afoot, and they can't trust anyone else. For all may be fair in love and war, but this is ornithology. I thought that sounded adorable. Now, I don't know too much about bird watching. I very, very briefly had a period of time where I did enjoy looking at birds and seeing what came to my window, and that was very strongly during COVID when I was kind of grounded and I couldn't do anything because the hospital didn't have PPE for us to go in and actually work as medical residents, but at the same time they couldn't allow us to take a vacation because they were like, oh, you know what, you may be needed and all hands may be required on deck, in which case we can't send you home. So basically I sat in my apartment for like a month and a half during that period of time, and I'm not very good at sitting at my apartment for a month and a half doing nothing, and so I decided I was going to try some bird watching. So I also think this book will be fun because I did really enjoy looking at my cardinals and my blue jays and like all that kind of stuff, and so I just think it's going to be a fun vibe, a cutesy vibe, and I just think a fiery, crazy, hard to catch bird being the cause of romance between two characters just sounds so fun. And for some reason, that's just very Harry Potter reminiscent for me because I freaking love Fox. I love Fox. So that was the first book that I picked. Now, the next one that I picked was the Book of the Month selection that I chose, which was House of Glass. Now, this is a thriller. It was written by Sarah Pekkanen. I think I'm saying that correctly. Please feel free to correct me if I'm incorrect. But this is the one about the question of the nanny murdering one of the family members inside of the home mansion. And it's basically following this series of events that's occurring and the death of one of the characters. And so I just thought that would be a fun little mystery to read. I genuinely love thrillers, like I really do. I consume a lot of them in the fall, and for some reason I also consume a lot of them in March. So I am very excited to get back into my thriller era as the fall season is coming around. But this was the book that I chose from Book of the Month, and I do tend to usually go for the romances or for the thrillers. So this month Jeff definitely spoke more thriller for me. Next up, I have Hello Girls. Now, this book is the book that was written by Emily Henry and Brittany Cavallaro. Now, this book is one of her earliest books. It was actually written back in August of 2019. So I have not actually read this book. And I saw that it was an Emily Henry book and I had to get it. Now, I have heard mixed reviews from the people who have read this book, because they're like, it's not quite an Emily Henry vibe. It's a lot more, not more toxic friendship in a way. But the characters can still be very compelling, and the adventure part of it is fun. It's like a very Thelma and Louise type of vibe is what I've heard. But let me read the inside of this one for you. Best friends are forged by fire. For Winona Olson and Lucille Price, that fire happens the night they meet outside the police station, both deciding whether to turn their families in. Shy, restrained Winona has been starving for a life in the seemingly perfect home she shares with her seemingly perfect father, celebrity weatherman Stormy Olson. No one knows that he locks the pantry door to control her eating and leaves bruises where no one can see them. Tough on the outside, Lucille has been suffocating beneath the needs of her mother and her drug-dealing brother, wondering if there's more out there for her than disappearing waitress tips and a lifetime of barely getting by. One harrowing night, Winona and Lucille realize they can't wait until graduation to start their new lives. They need out, now. All they need is $3,000, fast. And really, a stolen convertible to take them from Michigan to Las Vegas can't hurt. A darkly funny, razor-sharp collaboration between Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry, Hello Girls is the unforgettable story of two young women who are filled with equal parts rage and love and must reclaim their power if they're ever going to get away with their daring escape. So again, very Thelma Louise vibes. I'm very excited to read this. I do think it's going to be a fun one, and I was very excited to be able to claim this as my Book of the Month birthday book because of the fact that Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors. Next up, this is actually, I believe, a book that was also showcased on the Spotlight, not the Spotlight titles, the new and noteworthy titles within the Book of the Month collections, and that was the love of my afterlife. And I just thought that sounded so cute, like the idea that, you know, you've gone through your life, you've done everything you could, and now you end up in heaven. You're ready to start your afterlife and go into peace, and you happen to meet the love of your life while you're up there that you didn't get to jump and bump into while you were living on Earth. I don't know for those who believe in star-crossed lovers or, you know, destined lovers and things like that. I'm not really a believer in that, but I love the idea of there being someone special for everyone. I do also believe that every relationship that you have, in order for it to be successful and happy, you have to put in effort. And you have to realize that everything won't be sunshine and daisies all the time. However, if you found your person, they're going to support you no matter what. They're going to be there for you, and you can work your way through difficult situations. So that being said, when I saw this, I am a sucker for love, and the idea of finding a love in the afterlife as well just seems so special to me. In our culture, we believe in reincarnation. And so for us, like when we get married, we actually believe in 7 lifetimes of marriage. So once you bind your soul together, you are bound together for the next 7 lives in which you are reborn into Earth. And in some ways, I guess that kind of resonated with me from this perspective too. Like, imagine if you have the love of your life on Earth, you both pass away, and now you're on heaven, and you've never seen this soul as a soul before. You've only defined them within the constructs of this one person, and now you bump into each other in heaven. I'm not saying that's what this story is about, but like that's what this got me thinking about. And then I was like, oh, I have to read this book. So inside cover, here we go. A recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. So, okay, totally different vibes because they're going back to Earth. But still, if she wasn't dead already, Delphi would be dying of embarrassment. Not only did she just die by choking on a microwavable burger, she's also now standing in her sparkle and shine nightie in front of the hottest man she's ever seen, and he's smiling at her. As they start to chat, everything else becomes background noise. That is until someone comes running through a door yelling something about a huge mistake and sends the dreamy stranger back down to earth. And here Delphi was thinking her luck might be different in the afterlife. When Delphi is offered a deal in which she can return to Earth and reconnect with the mysterious man, she jumps at the opportunity to find her possible soulmate and a fresh start. But to find him in a city of millions, Delphi is going to have to listen to her heart, learn to ask for help, and perhaps even see the magic in the life she's leaving behind. So I also like these books that makes you think about, you know, what you have in life. Are you satisfied with what you have in life? Who are you as a person? Who would you be if decisions had been changed or made differently? Would you still be walking the same path today? These concepts of what ifs or parallel lives and things like that. It's always been something that I like thinking about and philosophizing about. So I'm very excited to read this because it just sounded like a cute, fun way to get into that. And again, had like slight Midnight Libraries, The Husbands type of vibe for me. And then last but not least, this was also in the new and noteworthy selections, and it is, of course, the new Riley Sager book. I absolutely had to pick this up as soon as I saw it. I think I have every single Riley Sager book that has ever been written, and I love this author. I think he is phenomenal. The first book that I ever read by him is still my favorite, and I know not everyone loves that book, but Lock Every Door, I think, was just very beautifully written, and I really, really enjoyed that book quite a bit. I also liked what is it called? Something Across the Lake. I have to find the book. But what was it called? What was it called? What was it called? What was it called? It is called The House Across the Lake. That is what it's called. And I loved that one too. I also really enjoyed The Only One Left. That was the one that he released, I believe, last year. That was very fun and a unique story. Home Before Dark was a little bit different. The Last Time I Lied was enjoyable. I just haven't read a Riley Sager book that I truly haven't liked before. So I just enjoy his books. I also really like Survive the Night, which I thought was kind of his, probably like the least favorite of mine of his books, but I still gave that one like a 3.5 to 3.8 stars. So you guys can see where I'm going with this when I say Riley Sager is my absolute favorite. So again, let's read the inside cover. Here we go. In the latest jaw-dropping thriller from best-selling author Riley Sager, a man must contend with the long-ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. The worst thing to ever happen on Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home. Plagued by bad dreams and insomnia, he begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours. The signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank? Or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? The mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle. Woods where Billy claimed ghosts roamed and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more he realizes that no place, be it quiet forest or suburban street, is completely safe, and that the past has a way of haunting the present. So, as you can see, already thrilling chills and vibes coming from that simple description. I just think Riley Sager has a way with words and a way with thrillers, and I'm so excited to jump into that book. But I hope that gave you guys a taste of how amazing Book of the Month is and how many different genres and selections they cater to in terms of making sure that their reading audience is going to find something that they like on their platform. The other nice thing about Book of the Month is if you do choose to sign up for it and you don't like any of the book selections that are available in their collection of books in their archives, as well as within the new selections for the month, you can choose to roll over the credits. So just because you choose not to buy a book does not mean that you will continuously get charged for the subscription. They will basically charge you every time you use a credit. So that's another fun point of Book of the Month as well. Overall, I just think it's a great service. They're basically doing the work for us, finding all these great titles, and all you have to do is go subscribe, choose a book that you want to read, and have it delivered to your doorstep, packaged with beautiful custom bookmarks, and in that fun little blue box that can be repurposed for other purposes, and with a brand new hardback book at a price of $15.99. Now, can that be beaten? I don't think so. Overall, I think Book of the Month is a most wonderful service, and I hope you guys too. And hopefully this video inspires you to at least go check them out and see if there's anything that you like on their website. That being said, thank you so much for joining me today and sitting through this video. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining us at JB's Corner. We talk everything books with a little bit of randomness thrown in there as well. And if you are returning, thank you for coming back and sitting through this video with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and had some inspirations of novels that you guys can pick up in the near future. If you are a Book of the Month subscriber, make sure you comment below what your favorite books are that you have found, or authors that you have discovered on the website that you may not have found otherwise. And if you are new and would like to hang out, or if you are returning and you haven't done so already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I look forward to continue to chat all things books with this corner of the internet here in our cozy, comfortable, bookish community at JB's Corner. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.